let's go fishing. You know it's really great, let's go fishing. In the rivers and on the lakes, let's go fishing. It's easy when you try, floating on the water with good old Steve and Mike. Floating on the water with good old Steve and Mike.
Hey, good evening, folks. Welcome to the Let's Go Fishing Show. And Mike, it's good to have you back.
Good to be back, buddy.
Yeah, I agree.
Straightened out a little bit. It makes it a lot easier getting around.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. There's no way without it. And but we do hope a lot of people's tuned in. We've got a little bit of fishing film, luckily. Mike's been catching them stripers down there. He just hadn't been able to get up on the crappie. What's the deal, Mike?
We ain't found them yet. I don't know. We're still plugging after them. Fishing with Gary a little bit there. Got to go with him, but we didn't find nothing. The wind blows off the lake. That's 2 trips I've been down there, and most times we got blowed off the lake, so it's kind of hard to find a place to fish for them.
Yeah, I understand. All right, while we're getting set up here, we're going to go to our sponsors, and we'll come right back in a few minutes. Let people know what we represent.
That's what we're all about. We do try to do an honest day's work for the people, and we've got operators from all over the DOE sites, TDA sites, the outside contractors. We're just about everywhere you see a heavy piece of equipment, good chance that you'll see an operating engineer on it, rather it be Barnhard. I'd like to mention them, All Crane, and all of them that's signatory to us. We have over 100 contractors that's signatory to us, so I definitely appreciate those guys all the way in Chattanooga, Kingsport, Tullahoma, throughout all the way up to Johnson City. So we do cover a big area, and just let us know if we can be any help to local contractors that come through these areas. We'll definitely send you some people.
All right, David. I appreciate all those good words, and we'll get this on the air, and I want to thank you again.
Thank you.
All right. I want to thank David Ray there, our president over at IOUE, and him and all the members there keeping us going. We really appreciate them. They were, a little bit of rumor was we was going to have another tournament sometime in the next couple of months. And, maybe it'll be better, Mike.
I'm hoping the wind ain't blowing.
I hope the wind's not blowing either. Really do. But we do have, Mike's got a little bit of film there on those stripes that he was catching, and I've got some there on my camera. So we're going to get into the film, and then I'll tell you about the 3 trips it took me to get what fish I got. So anyway, Chandler, put us on the fish, will you? All right, folks, I'm back down here on the lake on Saturday. Just got the first fish, got a late start. Nice little fish right here. We're gonna put him back in the water and try to get another. There you go. All right, folks, there's fish number 2. We'll get him back in the water and see if we can get another. There you go, buddy. Take off. I think he got a little mad because it was in the... All right, folks, there's our 3rd fish in the boat. Did miss another one over there that I didn't get in, so we're going to get this one back in the water and get another. There you go. We're here on the Clinch River side of the Little M Big Emery, down here on the Ladd's Landing in that neighborhood. So we're gonna see what we can come up with here. Okay, folks, now you can tell that's a small. There we go.
Yeah.
That's all right.
Get her back going here in a minute.
Yeah, it just come unplugged. I'm sure. Power right back up, Chandler. Yes.
Yeah.
I thought we had that camera deal conquered. You know, that battery that I swapped batteries from
Yeah.
the camera that had the broken wire in it and put it in the new camera, and I was really expecting it to do a better job than what it's doing, but he'll get us back online there in a minute. All right, folks, there's fish number 2. We'll get him back in the water and see if we can get another. There you go, buddy. Take off. I think he got a little mad because it was in the... All right, folks, there's our 3rd fish in the boat. Did miss another one over there that I didn't get in, so we're going to get this one back in the water and get another. There you go. We're here on the Clinch River side of the Little Emery, Big Emery, down here on the Ladd's Landing in that neighborhood. So we're going to see what we can come up with here. Okay, folks, now you can tell that's a smallmouth for sure, without a doubt. I caught a little old Kentucky up there, and I didn't grab the camera quick enough and let him get off there at the side of the boat. But anyway, we'll get this smallmouth back in the water and try to get another. All right, folks. Scotty Russell and I got out here. He just had to get in the snow. So there's our first fish. Get him back in the water. Try to get another. Good job, Scotty. All right, there's Mike. He's got a good crappie right there. We'll take a bunch of them. We may just come back there and sit for a minute or 2. All right, in the live well with the boat. Now I got you. Mikey's got a little old smallmouth on here. Yeah, sure has. Well, that's good. That's good.
There we go.
All right. Yeah, the boy. Get another.
All right, Steve's got one.
There we go, back in the water.
He caught a crappie.
Make sure he's 10 inches.
Yeah, there's a good large man. Dale Holler here. Got him in there. About 5 or 6 foot of water on a dang swim bait.
Yeah, done good, Mike.
Yeah, he's
Real good.
a big, long job, I say that for him.
He's almost 5 pounds.
Yeah.
If he ain't that.
Mm-hmm.
All right, come back. There you go.
Going back down. All right.
And what about that big one?
Only fish we've caught so far. All right. Steve finally caught his first fish down here. 3 days of fishing. He caught one.
Well, heck for her, Mike. That ain't no commentator. Heck for her. That's supposed
Yeah.
to be in the,
Well, you want
9-pounder or something.
you want
a dozen caught, shoot.
you want to hook that back on the line and throw him back out there and,
No, I'm not going to do that.
and get his picture 3 or 4 times?
I'm going to do it the right way.
Okay. Well, he took off like a bullet. Steve finally got another one there. That little smallmouth.
might get on something here before the day's out, Mike.
Yeah, we'll try to.
Here we go, back in the water.
Back in the water too. Yeah, there you go. Good fish.
All right, folks, there's fish number one. I made about a dozen casts. He got on it. We're gonna try again, see if we can't get another one or two. Remember the Let's Go Fishing Show will be on the end of the month. We'll catch up with you then. All right, folks, there's fish number two. About 6 casts. Got in front of that dock there. He come and got it. Back in the water he goes. All right, folks, there's number 3. I believe every one of them fish I've caught's been keepers. I hadn't measured any, but anyway, we'll get him back in the water and get another. All right, folks, there's number 4. Number 4. Getting back in the water. Here we go. All right, folks, got a little smallmouth there this time. That's number 6. Back in the water he goes. All right, folks, got another bass there. Yeah, it looks good. We'll get him back in the water and see if we can't get another. All right. All right, folks, there's a pretty good little fish right there now. Sure is. Ain't nothing wrong with them right there. I'd take him all day. All right, let's get him back in the water. See what we can do and get another. All right, folks, there's another good fish. That's a 2 pound, 2.5 pounder. We'll take a bunch of them. Just stick with us. We'll hope to get 3 or 4 more. Up this bank right here, it looks awful good. He's setting it home.
With it?
Huh?
Is his bad too? Or?
Well, it's not real bad. We got him on some meds there that that they give him, and this, that, and the other. He's I talked to him this morning before I left, and he's wanting to go fishing. So I said, well, we'll see what the weather's like tomorrow. And if it's bad, we ain't gonna go. If it's decent, well, we will. That's kind of where we're at. All right, folks, there's fish number 2. Sure is. On crankbait. We'll get him back in the water. See if we can get another one here. Get around here where I can get a good picture of him here. Yeah, it looks a lot better. There he goes. All right, folks, there's a good 3 pounder. Right there now. That's a good one. Yeah, buddy. All right, back in the water he goes. All right, folks, there's number 4. Get him back in the water and get another. All right, folks, got a pretty nice little bass right there. We'll get him back in the water and get another. All right.
Yeah.
Mike, I made 3 trips down to Ladd's Landing there. Got down the lake one trip. I wasn't nowhere near the mouth of Blue Springs there, or Caney Creek, I mean. But just, the deal was this right here. The dang water had warmed up a little bit, and those fish I caught, they wasn't in 2 foot of water.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, just like that. They okay. Got it. All right. You ready now, Chan? Okay. Hold on a second, caller, and we'll get you on here. There we go, I think. 1 minute. 1 minute here. Ready?
Okay, folks, that makes the third one. We come in here and hit right on top of on these rocks and hit these dadgone stripe. We're gonna throw another lick or two and see if there might be some crappie here. But they're around about 30 foot deep here on this ledge. We check them out and see what we can find. Alright, we caught another one of them big stripe and had a catfish, throwed him back. Old flathead, another good stripe. Alright, we'll throw another lick or two and see if we can figure out if there's a crappie in here. Okay, folks, Gary got another one there. Evidently, we in the nest of them dang stripers, and we'll have to move on down the lake and see if we can find something a little better. All right, folks, Gary found another one of them stripers. That ain't no yellowtail, that's a good stripe there. We'll get back at it.
All right, now we're coming back. I'm sure you cleared up the problem with the phone line. Yeah, okay, 10-4. Caller, if you'll call us back, we'll try to talk to you and find out what you're wanting there. But you know, what we ran into, we showed the fish, we call it Dale Holler, didn't we? Yeah, that was that big one that I was sitting on the back seat there.
Yeah.
And you was up on the front. Okay, Mike and I made a trip out to Dale Holler on the
First of the month. Huh?
First of the month, yeah. On the 2nd of February. We left that morning early, and we went out there and stayed with our two uncles, Rick Cox and George Cox, but we really picked the wrong time because I didn't know what the water conditions were, and those two guys out there, Rick and George, they didn't know either. They've been fishing around their houseboat and catching them crappie, just 20 of them at a time. Mm-hmm. And but anyway, we put the boat in, ran over to the houseboat, unloaded our bedclothes and stuff, and we were just the lake had come up about 6 feet. All that snow water, rainwater that happened 2 weeks before that just filled the lake up, pretty much. It came. That guy told me that had a boat there beside of us. He said it came up 6 feet. With all that snow water and stuff. And then another thing that happened was all the muddy water. And we got up, headed towards the bridge, going up the lake and going up the Obi there, and run into that muddy water.
Yeah.
And we didn't do any good. The 3 days we were there, or 2.5 days we were there, wound up catching. I caught 2 smallmouth there on Sunday, and we quit early. And Mike caught that largemouth on Saturday, and it was a nice one. It was real close to 5 pound, if not a little better. But anyway, we got to talking to some guys, and if you've never been to Dale Holler, you might make a trip out there sometime or another when in the spring and in the fall. You got a river channel, creek channel running down through there out of the Obed River and out of the Wolf River, and those guys were catching the fish out there 40 foot deep. The channel just runs up there, and you're in 60, 70 foot of water, and the next thing you know, it's 40 foot deep. And where it breaks, comes up on a hump out there, and a lot of the fish was being caught in that frame of mind. They were catching them out there in that 40 foot of water, and we were throwing on the bank and everything else. But anyway, the water temperature was up and down. You couldn't, but we enjoyed the stay, but we didn't do worth a hoot on the fishing.
No.
Yeah, and that was, and that was more my fault than anything, because I didn't check with the people that Bill's got some friends of his that live out there close, and so we talked to him, and he said, I asked them boys that was out here, said when all that snow water and stuff started running in, they went back home. Well, I said, yeah, I wished I'd have called you earlier, and we could have put it off another week or two before we went out there. But anyway, we enjoyed the company and had a good time, and we just didn't do anything about the fish at all to amount to anything.
No.
If you consider the 3 fish we caught, it was really bad.
What?
Yeah. So when this rolls around again this fall, hopefully we'll catch up with the weather forecast and do some phone calling to a couple of people and find out what the conditions of the lake is before we take off to go out there and stay a day or two. But that was the kind of the deal on that weekend there. We just, so at about 2 or 4 o'clock on Sunday afternoon, we headed back home and had loaded up all of our tackle and filled the bed of the truck full of stuff, and we hit the road headed back home. And so anyway, the following weekend, I went down to Ladd's Landing and put in, and I'll take that back. That was the weekend I went down to Blue Springs and put in and caught 5, I think it's 5 or 6, missed a couple of more bass. And what I found out down there in that area was the clean water was in the coves. The muddy water was out on the channel. And just the minute you got into that clean water, you pretty much get a bite. So, and I had a little old crankbait, dadgum thing, brown back and yellow sided crankbait, and it was a Spro plastic crankbait, and that's what I'd caught all them fish on a couple of weeks before. And the 2 trips I made down to Watts Bar at Ladd's Landing, that's what I was catching those fish on. And then fooled around like I always do, throw them out there, hooked the fish, couple of pounds, reached down, grabbed the line, had a dip net right there, grabbed the line. Well, that was the wrong thing to do. Well, broke the line, fish gone, and the bait gone. So don't do that. Let me tell you, don't do that. Get your dip net, or either get down there where you can get a hold of the fish, and don't pick him up with that line. Dadgummit, I was sick after that, and it's just a little 10-pound test line there, and I hadn't retied it in a couple of trips, and so when I got that 4th or 5th fish on the hook, I reached down there and was going to lay him up on the deck and throw him back in, but it broke my line and took off. Yeah, just.
To tell the truth, that was Wesley's crankbait.
Well, it was, but I wasn't going to let Wesley know that I lost his crankbait, and I still don't want him to know. So, till I get somewhere and get one, you like it, But it was a good little old crankbait, and heck, I just didn't bother to. I usually fish a snap on those little old crankbaits, a small snap, and so yeah, I picked up on the line and snap it went, and fish took off, and God, dogs almighty. So, but anyway, it was a good little old plug. Caught several fish on it there for 2 or 3 weeks, and all that kind of stuff. And then in the meantime, here I was down there on about the 4th trip there at Ladd's Landing, the next trip down there, and I caught 5 or 6 bass around those docks and then off the rocky points there in Big Emery, and got up there and throwed that plug out there still had the yellow plug at that time, throwed it out there on a pile of rocks there, and I didn't wind it 4 or 5 turns, and there's a little old bass hit that son of a gun, and so I got him up in the boat, and he flopped and throwed that hook in my finger, and there I sat, the fish still on the daggum hook, and the plug in my finger, and the only thing that saved me was, and this is just a tip, put you some of that braided line, and you just 3 or 4 foot of that braided line in your boat, and if you're going to be a dummy like I was, reach down there and let that fish flop and throw that hook through my finger. So here come Mike Russell and Scotty. They'd been down there crappie fishing, and so I threw my arm up and waved at them. Here they come. He said, "What's the matter?" I said, "Well, I let that little old bass throw that hook in my finger," and I said, "I don't have any line big enough to get it out of there." And Scotty said, "Oh, I got some braided line." Said, "I got just what you need." And sure enough, popped that hook out and put a Band-Aid around it and went back to fishing. But yeah, that'll happen. I'm just, you get, and that was another deal. I didn't get to dip net. I just slid that thing up there and picked up on it and set him down on the front of the boat, and flopping he went, and boy, I tell you what, yeah. So anyway, that'll happen occasionally.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mike, you know what I mean. It wasn't very funny, but I just, put on another bait and went back to fishing. So anyway, Chandler, have we got any more film?
No.
Okay, all right. I just wanted to make sure we got it all showed up there, and everything was fine and dandy. But anyway, like I said, the Dale Holler trip was a letdown, and it was all because I didn't check with the right people on the conditions down there at that time, and so the lake coming up, the muddy water. Now, when you got down towards down the lake towards the dam, it kind of cleared back up, but you still had it, the water cleared up, and but the fish just didn't seem to be around the banks any.
No.
They were out there behind us, and on those ledges and stuff, and we were fishing in there and staying out of the wind best we could and that kind of thing. But hopefully we'll get another good trip out there in a few days and do a lot better.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is fish in that lake, and quite a few of them, and so we'll see. Hopefully everything will fire up and we can get out there and make another trip and do it that way. The telephone working, Chandler? Okay, I don't have a green light out here, or red light, excuse me. Yeah, it's in the dark.
Well, anyway, on the crappie trip me and Gary took yesterday, we went down to Blue Springs and put in, and I was checking the temperature out and clarity of the water, and everything looked good there. And I looking for the minnows, and I couldn't see any idling out, and all the way out to the channel, and still wasn't seeing no minnows. And went in the gap there between Blue Springs Bayside back there on sunken tree and stuff that was in there, and I knowed where it was at, and pulled up there on it, and it started about 15 foot and went out to around 22 foot, and we fished all around in that, and never got a strike. And I said, well, let's idle over here and try another one a little deeper. So we went over and made a move over on the little creek channel there where some deeper stuff was at. And Gary, he jerked twice, said he had a couple of bumps in there, but never did catch nothing there. And that was somewhere around 20 foot down to 25, 27 foot in that area in there, and still didn't get nothing. So we went back out on the channel and had some brush out. It was around 26 out to about 31, 32 foot. And we fished around in there quite a bit and never got a strike out of that. And usually that brush pile holds some good crappie. And I told him, I said, well, let's drop out here and get a little deeper. So we went out and started fishing from about 30 out to 45. And we never got a strike out of none of that. And I said, well, the winds are blowing pretty hard. We're going to have to try to find a place out of the wind. So that's when we went down the lake there and fished around the end of that bluff line. You can see behind him there where it come, and then that ledge comes out there, and them rocks and stuff kind of got a lot of flat, and then it drops off. And we started in there about 15 foot and worked out on them rough rocks slowly. And time we got out there about 30 foot, and it just wham, them stripe was knocking the fool out of it. And I think I caught a flathead there off of it, and that was about 30 foot deep, the stripe was, and the catfish there. And the wind was blowing so hard, I said, well, we're going to have to get off of this too. So we went back around behind that bluff and finally found a little bit calmer water back there on some laydowns that come off the bank. And we fished minnows and fished grubs and stuff in there, say from 2 foot out to 10, 15 foot there, and then them brush. And I had at one boat dock there, I'd flipped in there around it with that minnow, and not a strike, and I was easing it out toward the boat, and one grabbed it and run down with it, and I don't know what it was. Anyway, I was about 3 foot deep or 4 with that minnow, and we fished around there another 30 minutes and never got another hit. And but I was seeing them minnows up there on the depth finder down about 4 foot deep and out deeper, at 10, 15 foot. And we bore that out. Never got another strike. And I said, well, let's go. So we went back up the river and figured, well, we'll go through the cut through up here at Thief Neck and get on the back side over there and knock that wind off of us. It didn't happen. We got around there on the back side there, and that wind seemed like it just turned and was coming right down through there on us. We tried fishing that for about an hour out there. And we fished it, I don't know, 30 foot out to 55 foot. Still never got a strike. I said, well, let's go back in there and throw a little more shallow again. We went back fishing shallow and still couldn't find them crappie. So I don't know what was going on with them, whether it was all that wind blowing that had them messed up or what, but we finally give it up and loaded up and come to the house. It was a rough day out there trying to fish and white capping going on.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there's no doubt about that, Mike. rocking up and down, and like you said, waves about a foot and a half, 2 foot high, you know.
Yeah, but if a man's wanted to stay there on them dang rocky ledges like that, I'd say he could catch the heck out of them stripe up and down through there if he wanted to. But there was some good ones in there too, fat rascals. But we sure couldn't find them crappie, that's for sure.
Yeah. Well, that's a bad day when it's doing that, you know, and then.
So we hooked up and left the house, and there wasn't a breeze one blowing. We got down to Blue Springs to put in, and it just barely a light breeze was blowing. And as soon as we got in the water and started out through there, it seemed like it just got stronger and stronger. And by 11 o'clock, it was rolling out there.
Yeah. That kind of conditions does make it rough. You know, there's no doubt about it. You got to get somewhere behind a ridge line or something to knock that wind off of you, and go from there. But it is a chore trying to keep your boat on the thing, which you got the spot lock on your motor, and you can get there on the brush and lock it down pretty much, you know. But that didn't help, did it?
No, didn't help a bit.
Didn't help a bit. I hear you. All right, Chandler, if you get a minute, I sure would like to get the phone working, and let me call Jeff Parrott and see what he's into.
There's two things that I kind of figured on that fish down there. It's either you get muddy water and they won't, you can't get them to hit, or that wind gets to blowing and knocks enough light off everything. It's just like muddy water; they won't hit then. So, you know, it's something else to fish down there when the weather won't let you. Well, I think he forgot something. He went out to the truck to get it. I don't know what he lost. But anyway, it was a pretty rough day, but it wasn't that cold, and you could run up the lake. The temperature changed sometimes from the back of the hollers to 51, 52 degrees, and then you get out there on the channel and be back down 48, 49, and when you was running down the lake, all of a sudden you'd hit like you hit in the refrigerator, just cold as could be, and then you'd go on up there a half a mile or something, or a mile up the lake, and then all of a sudden you'd right back in warm air and everything is real warm, and then next thing you know, it might go another mile and then back just cold as could be. So that wind bringing that off that cold water and stuff, that was something else. But we had a good time anyway. That's good to just get out. Because I hadn't been out, and my boat hadn't even been out of the garage in a month and a half, almost 2 months.
Yeah, them kind of things. That's not a good thing, Mike. Then they figure out you ain't using it, you don't need
it. Yeah.
I mean, what the heck, you know? Yeah. Shoot. Let's see here, Jeff Parrott. I'm looking for your phone number right now, and here we go. Let's see where he's at here. Dang it, man. I will find you right here in just a second. That P list is a long list. I can see the names and everything. Well, good, Mike. Let's see where Jeff Parrott's at here. Heck.
I asked Steve what he thought about my cups that my sister made me there. She's been fooling around with that stuff since everything. Makes some pretty pictures there, some put on there some smallmouth and nice looking smallmouth and largemouth on these things. Real nice looking cups. Put your name on them or whatever you want. Put a big deer on them, a turkey, whatever. Or just put something crazy on it. You never can tell about them. Yes, don't be jealous just because you can't catch fish like me.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Heck, now that doesn't look right. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. Well, that thing's gone crazy. They say I am part of the time. Hello.
Did you need something, Daddy?
No, I just called you by mistake.
He butt dialed you.
Everything's good. Bye.
Okay, bye.
Okay. Yeah. Let people know what we represent.
That's what we're all about. We do try to do an honest day's work for the people, and we've got operators from all over the DOE sites, TDA sites, the outside contractors. We're just about everywhere you see a heavy piece of equipment, it's a good chance that you'll see an operating engineer on it, whether it be Barnhard. I'd like to mention them, All Crane, and all of them that's signatory to us. We have over 100 contractors that's signatory to us, so I definitely appreciate those guys all the way in Chattanooga, Kingsport, Tullahoma, throughout all the way up to Johnson City. So we do cover a big area, and just let us know if we can be any help to the local contractors that come through these areas. We'll definitely send you some people.
All right, David. I appreciate all those good words, and we'll get this on the air, and I want to thank you again.
Thank you.
All right. All right, folks, we're back. Anybody listening that'd like to call in, give us a fishing report, we would appreciate it. Because it sounds like we're struggling pretty bad about getting them, getting on a bunch of fish. And, we'd like to, and it's all about this weather, like Mike said, you go down there one day and have a decent day and the water's slick as glass, and the next day you go down there, the swells are 2 foot high, and then turn right around and the dang temperature went from 54 degrees down to 47, and you've been catching fish in there in less than a foot of water. Well, them fish are not there no more. The cool water run them back out off the bank, and a lot of those fish that I showed there earlier were heck far, man. They wasn't in a foot of water. I mean, they just was right on the bank, and then you go back the next trip, and the water's dropped down 5-6 degrees. It's 47 instead of 54. It's hard to get a bite, and it's just because the weather and changing the water temperature, and we had all that snow water and everything, and they still muddy water in the back of the creeks, and so it just makes it tough. You have a good day one day, and then the next day you come back, just like when temperature got down to 17 or maybe 22, 23 degrees.
Yeah. And
I went right back down there. After that, couldn't get a bite. It dropped 4 or 5 degrees there, and when the fish is in a foot of water, 1.5 foot, that cold water's got him running back off the bank, and that kind of stuff. But hopefully the grass is growing, turning green. Buds out on the trees already, and if we get a freeze in the next few days, well, there'll be a bunch of them getting nipped off,
That's right.
And but that's what we need on as far as the fishing goes. We need 2 or 3 days of good, stable, same conditions. And here it is been, 65, 67 degrees?
Yeah.
And so there you go. That'll help a whole lot. And 2 or 3 days of that kind of weather, and they'll be up there looking for a bedding place, when the lake fills up. But, it's been a tough round for the fishing right now. I mean, for us anyway. We're just treading water and hoping that basically I had planned on going tomorrow, but it's raining out right now.
Yeah.
And just to see if I could catch another fish or two and go from there. But it's I'm just hoping that things will get better as far as weather conditions and water temperature and stuff like that. One of the biggest thing, and if you watched any of the pro fishing this past weekend, they were I can't remember now what lake that was on. But it showed,
Bend?
huh?
Toledo Bend?
Yeah, them guys was showing, the live scope, catching a lot of their fish out there. If the fish was down there in 30, 40 foot of water, they were just down, dropping right down on the fish and that kind of thing. And something happened. I got distracted and had to do something, and when I got back 2 hours later, it was done going off. So, but the electronics is just unreal, of what's happening right now. And the guys that's spending a lot of money on these units anymore, and they're expensive. But it's a proven fact that you can drop. When you find the fish on the bottom, you can drop down, and most of the time you get him.
Yeah.
And that kind of thing. So it's a hard thing to beat, and it's not getting. It's it's an expensive project, and
no doubt about it.
Shoot, man. I never dreamed that these things would come to where it's at now, and the expense of it. We got a guy right now that's right near $7,000 for a live scope and a new trolling motor, and what else was it?
Well, you had to buy the boxes and transducers and stuff to go on it. Yeah.
Yeah. So
about $4,000 on that, and then the trolling motor, I think, is about $3. So yeah. That was just to get a little bit going. We looked at that one boat they had over there, that Dakota lithium battery bunch over there. They was showing that boat with the electronics on it, and he had 3 units up front and 3 on the dash there.
Yeah.
So he could idle down through there and look at the scope, with scanning out to the sides there or whatever, and up on the dash. And then when he got to fishing, he had the one up front that he used on the live scope, and had a dang map on one, and then had the regular depth finder going graph to go in there, you know, to
Yeah.
keep him up on what the bottom looked like and everything there. And
Yeah.
I said, man, you're looking at $3,000-4,000 for each unit, you know. So that's $12,000 on front and 12 on the dash.
I know what you're saying, Mike. Oh, Lord. You know, it's unreal.
Yeah, and that ain't even counting the trolling motors.
Yeah.
Spend another $3,000-4,000 on the trolling motor.
Yeah.
I see
Yeah,
why they was $100-something thousand for a boat over there.
Yeah. Ain't no doubt about it. You know, shoot, far mighty. Anyway, this electronic business has just went haywire. I mean, it's unreal what you can tie up on this electronic stuff, and it's just unbelievable, really. I mean, I watched that there Saturday morning, and
Well, you seen that other guy that was in second place? I
License.
seen a little of it there. He wasn't using electronics. He was sitting there throwing
out
top
towards the
water,
ground. Yeah,
top
throwing
water and
jerk
back-
baits and
jerk baits and
yeah,
stuff.
swim baits. Yeah, I
back
agree
them
with you.
hollers.
All the fish wasn't out there
No.
30 foot deep or 40 foot deep, and some of them, I think I heard some of them saying they were in 50 foot of water. But then these guys, like you said, would come back in there in the grass beds, and where they, you know, throwing that jerk bait out there, and several of them caught a lot of fish on
They did.
it, and a swim bait.
Caught
And-
some good fish on it, too.
Yeah, sure did. So, you know, but they still yet had the same. Most of them had what I seen. About every one of them had 2 or 3 a down scan and a locator on the front of the boat, and then they had 2 on the dash and that kind of stuff. So you can a lot of money invested,
Oh, Lord, yeah.
you know. But if you're gonna do that
Yeah.
to make money to eat, you better be good.
Yeah.
You know, two ways about it. You know,
Yeah.
a lot of you gotta stay in there with it.
And throw a set of frog legs on there. I had to add another $7,000 on there.
Yeah. Son of a gun.
Most of them, you know, you got to buy all that bracket to mount it on there to fold it over where you can get it in the garage.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know what to think about you, Mike. I know those. I'd have to run them out to get my boat through the garage door. Now, after I get in the basement there, I've got a couple of feet up to the floor joist, but still yet, you know, you gotta. Anyway, well, I'm tickled to death. Just be glad when this weather conditions get a little better and get back down there on the lake and catch some fish, really.
Well, you know, I heard 2 or 3 telling me that they was talking about outlawing them down scans or live scopes and all that stuff for this professional fishing, but there's too much money in it.
Oh yeah, no,
They ain't
no,
gonna do that.
no, shoot, no. Can you imagine what that'd be like? Can you put them guys back in the dark ages?
Yeah.
Huh?
Well, that one said he couldn't, wasn't good enough on that thing, so he spent all day just out there fooling with that electronics, just to learn how to use it more.
Oh yeah,
better.
yeah. There's no doubt about it. It's yeah. I don't know. It'd take a guy that's a computer whiz to get up on the thing pretty quick, you know. And the other times it's going to be a while figuring it all out and doing
Well,
this. and
from
doing
what
that.
I seen on that, and that Rick had on his boat out there that George was showing there, it
Yeah.
shows a little white
With yeah.
dot there,
Yeah.
and you know, you see a white dot. Now, what is that? Is that a crappie or is that a bass or?
Well, you don't know. You don't know.
You
Just
know, the ones I got shows them white dots too,
right,
but that still don't tell me
Tell me.
what kind it is.
right. Yeah, you know. And while we were out there on Dale Holler with Ricky and George, Rick's got one of those scanners and a live scope, and they catch all them crappie off their boathouse right there. You go out there for a couple of hours and you've got 18, 20, 25, 30 good-sized crappie, and you sit right there, and so there it comes. And sure enough, you put that little old jig down there and just kind of shake it around a little bit, and you'd see that crappie come up off the bottom down there, and next thing you know, they had it on the line.
Yeah.
So, it definitely, the fish can't hide. They don't have a chance. It's, you're looking at them all the time, and, very seldom will they not hit, it looked like. So it was really interesting there Saturday morning. I got up and got to watch it, and a little bit of that was going on. But listen, we're fixing to close out. We've got 3 or 4 minutes left. How much? 2 minutes. God bless you all. Hope to see you next week, or at the end of the month. And we hope that'll be there in March, Mike. Be the last Tuesday of the month of March. We'll be back for their 3rd show. Hopefully we can have some fish and film and maybe a couple of guests or 2 here. Keep things going.
Yeah. God
bless you all. Have a good week. Be careful. We'll see you next end of the month. Let people know what we represent.
That's what we're all about. We do try to do an honest day's work for the people, and we've got operators from all over the DOE sites, TDA sites, the outside contractors. We're just about everywhere you see a heavy piece of equipment, good chance that you'll see an operating engineer on it, rather it be Barnhard. I'd like to mention them, All Crane, and all of them that's signatory to us. We have over 100 contractors that's signatory to us, so I definitely appreciate those guys all the way in Chattanooga, Kingsport, Tullahoma, throughout all the way up to Johnson City. So we do cover a big area, and just let us know if we can be any help to local contractors that come through these areas. We'll definitely send you some people.
All right, David. I appreciate all those good words, and we'll get this on the air, and I want to thank you again.
Thank you.
All right. Let people know what we represent.
That's what we're all about. We do try to do an honest day's work for the people, and we've got operators from all over the DOE sites, TDA sites, the outside contractors. We're just about everywhere you see a heavy piece of equipment, good chance that you'll see an operating engineer on it, rather it be Barnhard. I'd like to mention them, All Crane, and all of them that's signatory to us. We have over 100 contractors that's signatory to us, so I definitely appreciate those guys all the way in Chattanooga, Kingsport, Tullahoma, throughout all the way up to Johnson City. So we do cover a big area, and just let us know if we can be any help to local contractors that come through these areas. We'll definitely send you some people.
All right, David. I appreciate all those good words, and we'll get this on the air.
Let's go fishing. You know it's really great. Let's go fishing in the rivers and on the lakes. Let's go fishing. It's easy when you try. Floating on the water with good old Steve and Mike. floating on the water with good old Steve and Mike.